We're going to get a look at those real estate stats for Newmarket. We now have January out of the way. So what I'm going to do, like my other videos, is we're going to look at the current month, so January 2021, which is the most recent stats. We're going to compare that with what happened a year ago in January 20, and then we're going to have a look at the month before just to offer some contrast. So we're going to look at December 2020. Now, what we're talking about here is the numbers averaged about, across all home types, so condos, semis, towns, links, etc. So of course, depending on your home type, the stats and numbers may vary. So number of sales currently in January in Newmarket was 92. If you compare that with a year ago, 70 total unit sales and 116 in December 2020. Average sale price a year ago was $756,000. That climbed to $950 in December 2020, and we're at $1,011,000 in January 2021 in Newmarket. Again, average sale price across all home types. Sales to listings ratio, if you've watched my other videos, you know it is one of my favorite stats. It's a great gauge to tell us where the market's doing or what the market is doing. Is a buyer's market, seller's market, that kind of thing. So 62.5%. A year ago. Now, what does that mean? That means out of the homes coming on the market each month, what was the percentage that we're actually selling? So from that 62.5 a year ago, in December, we actually climbed to 134.9%. So you're probably thinking, how can you get 134.9 out of 100? What happens in that case is not only did the homes that came out on the market in December, figuratively speaking, sell through, but any back inventory or some of the back or languishing inventory that had been on the market for maybe a month or a couple months prior actually started to sell through as well. So that's where you get that number of 134.9%. So very, very strong seller's market. Now, out of the surrounding markets like Stouffville and Georgina and East Gwillimbury, Newmarket is actually very, very strong. We're actually seeing inventory levels stay fairly low. So we're currently trending at January 2021 an 80%. So 80% of the houses coming on the market each month are selling. So that would be representative of the numbers we would have seen back in like the first part of 2017 when we had that very busy market. Months of inventory, also a really great gauge. It basically tells us that if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate that homes are being purchased, how long would it take for the inventory to deplete? So a year ago, we were at 1.4 months of inventory. We reduced to 0.3 months of inventory. So literally a couple weeks of inventory, 10 days of inventory in December. We're actually climbed to 0.6 now. So we're sort of, 2-3 weeks of inventory. So again, very, very low, very strong seller's market. Sale price to list price ratio, 99.2% was the trend in January 2020, 102.5% in December, so homes selling over asking. Currently in Newmarket, 106.4%. So very, very strong, very competitive market right there right now. Days on market to get a home sold, a year ago 23, in December 16, and currently at 11. So what does this mean for sellers right now? Very, very busy market. You can expect a lot of activity on your house. If your house isn't ready to get on the market right away, fear not. Likely the demand is going to continue for a little bit, so you don't necessarily have to be in a rush. I suspect you probably have maybe another 5 or 8 weeks of this market left. For sellers out there, if you're going to buy right now, it is a very competitive market. And bear in mind that you are most likely going to have to consider submitting offers with no conditions at all. So you're going to want to make sure that your financing and things like that have tightened up. But be patient. Typically, as we come into the spring, inventory levels tend to rise, and we are seeing that in Newmarket right now. Okay, so we've gone from 0.3 months of inventory to 0.6. So inventory levels are rising, even though just slightly. And then also, of course, our sales to listings ratio has come down a bit. So again, we are seeing some signs that inventory level is coming up. So for buyers out there, be patient. More inventory is coming, and more inventory, it's just simple supply and demand. What we end up seeing is that tends to quiet the multiple offers a bit. So I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to reach out to me if I can answer any questions.